Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're looking at the new Maxpedition Wolfspur shoulder bag from their new AGR or Advanced Gear research line. This bag has got some pretty cool improvements over their standard gear, as well as some just cool features overall. It may also have some drawbacks, and we'll try to uncover those during the course of this review, so please stick around. The Maxpedition Wolfspur is available in 3 different colors, black, tan, and gray, which is the color I'm showing in this video. Gray is my personal favorite as a less attention-grabbing color that also looks nice with anything. So let's get into this bag, look at the different compartments that it has, the things that it can hold, as well as kind of talk about the role that this bag might fit into for you or for me, kind of the things that I've been using it for, as well as things you can use it for. So this main compartment is fairly spacious here. I believe it is about 10 inches wide at the top, about 6.5 inches at the bottom, about 4 inches wide altogether, and about 11 inches deep. And what I have down at the bottom there, you can see, is my shemagh, which I use as kind of padding for my camera. This is basically a camera bag that I use. You can see what that looks like and how it goes in and how it comes out. So that's basically how my main camera fits in here. I'm using currently a Canon G40 with a Rode VideoMic Pro on top of it. And it fits in there fairly well, and I feel like it's pretty well protected. In addition to that, I'll point out these little chunks of cardboard here, which are actually little mock-ups. I wanted to bring these along to show you that this is the size of the iPad mini, and that will fit into this rear pocket here very easily. You can see that as I put that in there, it's got lots of room to kind of swim around and bury deep down inside of there. But in addition to that, here's the size of a full-size iPad, the iPad Air, I think they call it, and that fits in there very comfortably as well. You can see that there's plenty of room for that. Now, we'll talk about some considerations with carrying something like an iPad at the same time that you're also carrying something like, a concealed carry handgun. There are definitely some things to consider in that regard, but we'll touch on that in a moment. We see that there's this sort of meshy material right here, which is very cool. Sort of a hex mesh. I believe this is a material that was developed exclusively for Maxpedition because of their power, their reach, and kind of what they've been able to sell and do over the years. They have the power to create brand new materials, stuff that doesn't exist yet. And this is one of the things that was covered in my booth review at SHOT Show 2016. They can bring stuff to market that just isn't there before. So they don't have to go off of, what's off the shelf today. They can get whatever they want. That's full of some napkins that I keep on hand. Getting back to the main compartment, we can see that there's also a pouch on this side, a little divider right there that allows you to fit a number of different items in here. What I have right now is my little Benchmade. This is the CLA, that's right, Composite Light Auto, one of my favorite Benchmades ever, favorite autos ever. But that fits in there very nicely. We also have what looks like some dividers on this side as well. You can see these right here that allow you to kind of set your pens, your zip ties, your whatever you need to carry, and kind of separate those from other gear that you might have in your main compartment. And lastly, still in the main compartment, right there at the very bottom, below that shemagh, you see some other compartments right here that will allow you to slip smaller, flat things inside of that. So once again, lots of space. It's also worth noting that this bit of bungee right here, you see knotted right there, is actually what we have to secure our water bottle on this side. And that water bottle holder is also very cool. We can zip that up to get rid of it if we're not going to be carrying a water bottle around. And then we've got what amounts to a very small slim pouch. But when we open it up, and also I'll mention this, there's a little garage for the zipper, so that's not going to bang around and make noise if you're not going to be using it. You can slip that in there and then carry that around with very minimal noise. But when you're ready to open that up, take that zipper out of the garage, zip it down, bellows out very quickly. You've got a little buckle right there that will help to hold your Nalgene bottle down. What I've got here is a little Nike bottle that I picked up at the store. I like the size of it, I like the convenience of it, and it fits in there pretty nicely. It doesn't really cinch up so well unless I use something like this carabiner, which is why I have that on there. So if I want to, I can clip that in place, and my water bottle is secure if I need to run around with this bag on. While we're on the subject of running around, we might as well talk about this great feature right here that enables you to run around with this shoulder bag if you so desired and needed to, and that is the waist belt. Very expandable. Those straps there are pretty long. That unbuckles, as you can see, just like that. I like the addition of the waist strap. I don't use it very much, but I would definitely rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. While we're on the back there, you can see that we've got some great mesh paneling on the back of the bag and some great channeling of air. What we have here are these pads that sort of raise up and are much higher than this area down here, which is also nice and breathable mesh. We might as well touch on this handle right here, which is fantastic. I love how skinny, I love how minimal it is. It's just barely there, but when you need to grab it, it's strong. And that is a new innovation from Maxpedition, where they start off with basically a flat piece of material, but then it turns into this sort of rounded webbing, and that is so cool. And while we're moving that direction, here's the strap made from seatbelt webbing. One of the coolest ideas Maxpedition ever had, in my opinion. This stuff is soft, it's extremely durable, it's proven to be as durable as anything needs to be. Obviously stitched very well right here and stitched well underneath that as well. So super strong as far as how it's attached to the bag, and just in general, this seatbelt webbing is extremely strong stuff. So yeah, big win there. Next, of course, the shoulder pad, which is removable and is curved to work with your body. Okay, makes sense. And you can just undo it like so, take that webbing out of there if you need to. Looks like it works really well. I've heard several reports that the zippers on this bag are unusually stiff. I noticed early on that the main compartment zippers were a little harder to pull than the rest. However, after just a couple weeks of use, they've broken into a comfortable yet firm pull. So let's get into the firearms concealment aspect of this bag, which Maxpedition has included and incorporated into it. The way we reach that is through this compartment here on the top, just below this handle here. You can see the zipper for it right there. It's not this one, the main compartment, not that one, the top compartment, but this one back here. So what we do is we pull that down right there. Got two buttons that snap and hold that shut. And then we've got two big zippers right there. One on this side, one right there. Zip that open, and down inside is my firearm. Now, I don't necessarily always have this in this bag. There are certain situations and places where I take this bag where it's just inappropriate for me to have a firearm with me. And I obviously have to obey rules in regards to workplace and so forth. But when it's possible and when you're comfortable with it and when you're able to, this is a great way to carry your firearm. This is the Smith & Wesson Shield 9mm. As you can see there's plenty of extra space. I believe this would easily hold a Glock 17, Smith & Wesson full size. Just about any handgun you want to carry would fit very comfortably in here. The Smith & Wesson obviously fits very comfortably in there. It is hot. I'm going to go ahead and put that back in. And what we've actually used there, Maxpedition has included, well, they don't include with the bag, but you do have access to, or the option to buy, this piece right here, which is movable. And that is basically your universal holster, and sort of concealment holster. So that will go into and hook onto the loop that's on the inside of this, this compartment here. and make it so that you can put that and position that wherever it works for you. Now, one more thing to say about that concealment option, and this goes back to what I said about the iPad carryability. If you decide to conceal a firearm and also carry something flat made of glass and steel like an iPad, you probably do run the risk of smashing your iPad at some point, because it just barely fits in there. It's fairly snug, and with a firearm behind that, which is a very hard, thick, strong piece of material, if something were to happen with your bag and it got compressed or banged up in a kind of a hard way, the one thing that's going to give is probably your iPad. So it could end up with some dents, it could end up with a destroyed screen, it could end up destroyed in general. So I would say be very mindful if you choose to carry your iPad as well as a firearm inside this bag at the same time. Bringing it around to a couple of the other compartments, what we have here is this very nice kind of soft but hard shelled container right here. So this is a great place to have things like glasses and any other items you own that you don't want to have destroyed, but that you want to have accessible very easily. Now, I'm a camera guy, I do a lot of video shooting, so for me this compartment is mainly for camera gear. I have a small tripod in here mainly for my iPhone and stuff like that, and there's the other piece to it. Spare battery for the Canon G40, gum, not camera related obviously, and a little bit of duct tape on an old card for all types of things really. But that's a look at that compartment right there. It's pretty nice and spacious. Again, specs are on the Maxpedition website, so I won't bother trying to go through all of that. And clearly you can see that it's a great little loop panel right here that you can hook your patches onto. Tops make some great knives, and of course this patch is available on the website, linked to down below if you want it. Coming around to this side of the bag, you see that there is a pouch over here as well. We can open that up and look at it. You see that there is that lattice attachment system, MOLLE compatible, so you can attach a smaller bag onto the side of that and expand that out if you need to. But what I have in there, it's just kind of some emergency gear, as well as we have, well, emergency gear. That would be a freezer bag. How is this pouch as far as spaciousness? Well, it's fairly flat, but it is good enough to kind of contain smaller items that you want to have handy. They again are not too bulky. Lastly, let's get to the pouch that I think is sort of the hardest one to access, and that is this one here down at the bottom. The reason I say it's harder to access than the other pouches, the main pouch obviously, very easy to get to for the person looking down into the pouch. I can see the contents very easily, reach and access every single point within there very, very easily. Same goes with that top pouch. When it comes to this bottom pouch though, as you can see by looking at it, the bag curves a little bit down. If I zip that open from where I'm standing, I don't see any of those contents. I see just the top of this flap, that's it. So what I need to do is turn the bag and basically rotate it up towards myself in order to see into there. And that's kind of maybe the one drawback to this pouch right here, and maybe to the bag in general. Looking at that pouch though, and looking at sort of the ability to divide different types of gear in here, we've got a number of different things, as you can see. Keep a little bit of Advil on hand for backaches and headaches and things like that, a little bit of hand sanitizer. What else we keep in there? Well, in this main pouch pocket right here, again with that great little mesh that they've come up with, and that is full of, I think I've got some, looks like some thumb drives in there for various projects. And also we've got, looks like the Leatherman Skeletal right there. I think these are spare batteries, some business cards, some glasses, cleaning material, as well as back here a field notes book that I'll keep on hand as well. And I think lastly I might have a little, this is a charger, came with my Noco X-Grid system, and that allows me to recharge my phone on the go if I need to. And lastly, you can see that that does have their lattice system on it as well, so you can easily expand that pouch out. Expandability here, expandability there, plenty of expandability for this sling on, shoulder bag. I think it's great in almost every situation. Who is this bag for, and what are you going to use it for? In my opinion, it's a great EDC bag. Something that you, as just a prepared person, dad, mom, whoever, You want to have lots of good gear with you and available to you pretty much wherever you go. It carries very nicely, it's nice and durable, it secures your firearm pretty well. I like it for a lot of reasons as an EDC bag. But next to that, I think it makes a pretty dang good camera bag. Now clearly it's not designed as a camera bag, but the way I've used it for the camera that I use, for the mics that I use, the batteries I want to carry, etc., does a fantastic job. Lastly, this would make a pretty nice carry-on bag for flying and traveling in general. The fact that it carries your iPad in it, my wife for one has an iPad. She would love to have it in something like this along with all the other gear that she would fly with, so that that's at the ready and all the other stuff she's got is at the ready, and it's nicely protected too. But as I said before, there's lots of other details on this bag. If I didn't cover what you wanted to hear, do go to Maxpedition.com and they'll have all the information you want on this particular bag. You can buy this bag there at Maxpedition for around $150. You can also get it for, I think, around $130 on Amazon.com. I'll have links to both of those down in the description below. But I do want to say thanks to Maxpedition, of course, for sending this bag out for me to review. And also, of course, thanks to all you guys for watching this review. I hope it was helpful to you. I'm Late Boy Scout. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.
This is a very important year for Maxpedition. 2016, we're launching our Advanced Gear Research line, AGR for short. And here we have a few products. The whole Advanced Gear Research launch is comprised of 12 new products. Here, this table is a little bit small, so I brought the 5 highlights.